This is rock and roll.
The power of constitutional sit-ins, a roadmap for MMTLP success. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the power of constitutional sit-ins, a roadmap. I'm excited to share with you how we can transform 3 years of hell and frustration into victory. Let's dive in and be empowered today. Welcome to the War Room 304, our battleground for justice. Here we unite as MMTLP warriors, ready to break free from the helplessness and fatalism that the government has grounded into us over 3 years. Too many of us have habituated to the loss, and now we're just looking for vindication without the settlement. We need to take action. December 8th, they will delete our data. The War Room 304 is produced by the Boat Rocker. I'm Allan S. Billehus. I have a master's and education specialist degree. I'm a vocational rehabilitation counselor. I'm a vocational expert, and I'm also an MMTLP shareholder. I've seen the struggles like ours in many people, as well as myself, over the last 3 years. We can go and walk this path to win together. After 3 years of relentless fighting, 200,000 complaints that have been ignored, FOIAs redacted and rejected, and gaslighting from Finra and the SEC, as well as from our congressmen and senators, claiming no issues. It's natural to feel helpless after this many years and all we've done, like no one cares. Magical thinking whispers that the government will fix it someday, somehow. Someone's got to step up. They will investigate it. It's like, where have you been for 3 years? Have you not seen what's happened to GME or AMC or any others? It's like we're not able to put two and two together. Too many of us still believe in the system. Our government has passed this over again and again. Your pain is valid. Our veterans and seniors and retirees that have lost their retirements to this. Many of our shareholders have lost homes, cars. Several people have lost farms, not including the divorces and, of course, deaths. And our money is trapped. Synthetics unchecked. We've exhausted every channel. Lawsuits have gone through. Finra rocks in and shows them an immunity card, and it's over. Our congressional letters go unanswered because our Congress members are in on it. And because they're in on it, they do not want it to expose. They did the minimum, they controlled the hearing, and that was it. This isn't your fault. It's systemic denial in order to get away with the fraud. But from helplessness comes hope. History shows underdogs like us win, and we can win. You're not alone. Let's turn sympathy into strength. Share your story together. We demand change through constitutional sit-in. It's inevitable. If you look at all the facts and everything we've done and where we're at and how the government is treating us, that can be the only conclusion. No more waiting. We want it now. We control the terms. Your voice matters now. Here is your presentation roadmap. This is your guide to success. Today, we're going to break free from helplessness. We're going to debunk your myths about constitutional sit-ins. We're going to look at historical wins against all odds and compare MMTLP's advantages to what has been done before us and plan actionable steps for our constitutional sit-in. Constitutional sit-ins have had many historic wins, but most of them happened before you were even born or were really even paying attention, leaving you with the false perceptions from paid protesters over the last 25 years. you really have no idea what a real constitutional sit-in looks like or what it's really about. Because the examples you've told are constitutional sit-ins was paid disruptors, and it wasn't really even constitutional. 80% of targeted sit-ins achieve success, and this is from multiple studies from civil rights data and nonviolent studies. You can't just walk away from that amount of success. After all we've been through, I understand with the amount of evidence we have, it seems absolutely unreal. But there's GME and AMC, and they're saying the same thing. Our government is drunk off of power. There is no consequences. There is no enforcement. Finra and the SEC robs us blind every day. We go on X and we can see data of fraud tick by tick, hour by hour in multiple stocks. But no one seems to realize that the only way to stop it is it's up to you. MMTLP has the power to stop all of this, but only if we do a constitutional rights redress. And we only have two demands. They're super simple. The audited share count, which can be achieved in hours, we know this. And to get set up for T2 settlement, that can be set up in hours, maybe not the 2 days, but to get it started, it could. Our focus and demands are so simple. This could be very quick if we get the right people on the bus, if we get the right people on the bus and in the right seats, and we can organize it. We will have retail behind our back. We will have the public behind our back. We will have other companies helping us and cheering us on. Understanding the 80% success rate. This is derived from research from Erica Chinworth's analysis of nonviolent campaigns succeeded 53% overall, and that overall means all of their demands were met. Targeted sit-ins, like in the civil rights area, reached 70 to 80% in local wins. These were highly focused. Civil rights sit-ins desegregated over 60 cities in months, despite 60% in negative polls. Some of the polls in many areas was well over 78%. These wins of 70 to 80% were with the public totally against the individuals doing the constitutional sit-in from winning. But that won't be us. We will have the public behind us. For MMTLP, our evidence of 300 million synthetic shares and FINRA emissions gives us an absolute advantage. Having AMC and GME backing us up, again, another absolute advantage. Our sit-in is based off of exhaustive channels. We've touched on everything the government has told us to touch on multiple times, over 200,000 times. 80% successful wins and only 20% total losses. Granted, Occupy Wall Street was in that total loss, and it was due to illogical demands, poor focus. It's not squared on the Constitution. For MMTLP, it's one team, one focus, two simple demands that are objective and can be achieved in hours. Why constitutional sit-ins win? They win because they're on moral and constitutional high ground. They claim the moral and constitutional high ground, evoking First and Fifth Amendment for us, free speech, assembly, and due process for grievances. For example, in the 1960 sit-ins, they were shifting opinions. And as I stated, many of these had 78% of the population was in total opposition to the policy of changes. But MMTLP doesn't have that issue. Our demands are focused. We want an audited share count and T2. We've asked for these countless times. We've asked for information through FOIAs. We've asked for the blue sheets and the cats. We can perform a well executed and planned nonviolent constitutional sit in at Wagner, and this forces confrontation, just like Greensboro did for desegregation. Doubters say regulators ignore us, but a sit in is made to basically hammer it home that we are here and we're not leaving. Ignoring us is no longer an issue, it's impossible. We were there and we demand answers. Constitutional sit ins also wins at the organization and evidence level. MMTLP has the ability to highly organize and plan a successful constitutional sit in, and we have more than enough evidence. We could throw half our evidence away and still win. That's how much evidence we have right now. We have clear, highly focused demands, and we're going to attract participation from other CEOs from companies that are being treated like dogs by Finra and the SEC. We're going to be attracting other retail shareholders that are frustrated with the same situation we are. AMC and GME has been here for longer than we have, and they still have nothing. But we have them trapped, and that's what makes us special. Nonviolent campaigns draw 4 times more people than violent ones. This will erode the opposition. Historical win. Section 504 disability sit in 1977 was won after 26 days of evidence based holdout. But you got to remember, the population in the system was against these individuals. We are going to have the population with us. Though we already have the laws with us, we already have the regulations with. We just need enforcement. We're not trying to overcome as much as these other people did in the past. And so you have to understand our situation is totally different. And all you have to remember is the amount of evidence that MMTLP is 1,000 times stronger than what they had in the past. The public will want the laws enforced, especially when they learn how they are directly involved in being robbed. Retail investors, again, and CEOs, again, will support us. We have everything we need now that many sit in winners didn't have. Why not leverage it now, before December 8th, and they destroy our evidence? Our power is in the Constitution. Action is the force. Highly focused. We already have the laws and regulations. We just need it enforced. Constitutional rights sit ins win because escalation after exhaustion, and we know exhaustion, don't we? Everything we've done follows failed petitions. The courts have respected Finra's immunity, left and right, over 21 times. Our last resort, which is the court, is not on our side. Nobody is on our side except for the people, except for retail, except for small companies. The Freedom Rides in 1961 built on prior failures, achieving interstate desegregation. MMTLP parallels with 3 years of lawsuits. FOIAs unmet. A sit-in at Rep. Wagner's office will invoke. There is no other way. We've done everything we can do, and the deadline of December 8th is here at our backs. It's breathing down our throats. And I don't think anybody really knows what this date is and how bad it is for us. That's exactly why sit-ins succeed. They're a last-ditch effort, and we're here. History proves it. MMTLP is just demanding enforcement of existing laws and regulations, and a constitutional rights sit-in is simple and basic and an easy win, and we can do it right. So everybody wants to say our constitutional sit-in will fail, but research shows that only 20% from the past failed, and the 20% that failed had a lot of issues. A lot of them weren't really constitutional rights based. So saying we're going to fail outright without valid information isn't right. The 20% lessons from failures and the MMTLP advantages. The main reasons: vague goals or too many demands and goals. Like Occupy faded due to no demands. They had no organization. They avoided the government. They really weren't about policy. It was really a movement paid to cause disruption and excitement. Repression without momentum. They had poor timing, and the system finally burned them out. Historically, early in the 1950 sit ins stayed local, lacking media and evidence. But today, TV and media is everywhere. That's another advantage we have. We have social media behind us. We have several people in the news stations that would be willing to report on us if we did something like this. We have media advantages that they didn't have in the past. MMTLP avoids those barriers. We have absolutely focused demands: T2 enforcement and an audited share count. Again, both could be started within hours. We could easily get national buzz if we have enough people there. We have a resilient community if we could just get fired back up. This turns that 20% risk into a no brainer. We have an absolute win here. And for those who still want to say we would fail, I hate to tell you this, but failing means we still retain all our rights to our investment, except for what's left after December 8th, 2025. It also means that we still retain all our evidence. It also means we get new evidence that we were ignored or passed over by the government. So we actually gained more evidence and more advantages even if a sit-in fails. But it won't fail because we're going to plan it right and organize it right, and we're going to get what we want. But for the naysayers, even if we fail, we get more evidence and we lose nothing. There is absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. And for some of you might say about arrest, well, the arrest in the past is what drove the public forward on these things. So the arrests were actually beneficial. They're not going to be grabbing our veterans and grandmas and pulling them out. That's a PR nightmare for them. That's just how it is. Success happened without the amount of evidence and advantages you had or have. MMTLP has a level of proof. We can confront our dissenters with absolute certainty. MMTLP is built to succeed at a constitutional sit-in from the ground up. MMTLP is just demanding enforcement of existing laws and regulations. We have all the evidence on every branch of the government. It's our constitutional right to defend and protect the Constitution, and that means defending our rights. MMTLP versus Greensboro sit-in the 1960s. The Greensboro won. Both of us face systemic injustice. Segregation versus SEC Finra market manipulation. Both of us have exhausted all channels for appeals and legal approaches. Greensboro relied on nonviolent persistence and evidence and eyewitness testimonies. But with us, we've got data galore. The media tried to suppress the Greensboro, and the media is totally different today than it was in the 1960s. In the 1960s, Greensboro relied on TV and newspapers, versus today, our media is national. It can go national within minutes. So it took weeks to months for it to go national. And that's one of the reasons why it took so long for change to come. But with us, we can get instant amplification if we get large enough and do it right and professionally. Today's media will virally spread our word globally within hours, not weeks, for full system exhaustion. We've exhausted the system. This justifies escalation legally. Greensboro only had moral appeal. MMTLP versus Section 504 sit-in 1977. Section 5041. Similarities. Both of us challenge federal inaction. Delayed regulation for them versus halt resolution for us. After exhausting all channels and lobbying for complaints and letters, they used evidence and testimonies. But we have FOIAs and evidence, physical evidence they didn't have. Media was key in 1977. In the 70s, it was a little bit faster than it was in the 60s, but it's still not as fast as today's social media in national media we have today. So there was some prolonged holdouts in the median system. It did take 26 days versus we've already been here 1,000 days. You keep forgetting we've been here 1,000 days. The differences: Section 504 used print TV and print ad and TV to spread the word. It took weeks to go national. Versus MMTLP, we will be national basically real time. In the 1970s, the media was slower again than it is today, and we can go viral within minutes to hours. MMTLP's administrative lawsuits and letters and our advantages in digital and quantifiable evidence puts us over and above what Section 504 had. The 1970 TV networks, again, tried to not view or show a lot of this on TV. The media is the gatekeeper, but MMTLP can overcome it. MMTLP versus the Freedom Rides of 1961. The Freedom Rides again won their sit-in. MMTLP has greater advantages than the Freedom Rides did. Similarities: both confronted entrenched systems, segregation versus Finra and SEC market-wide fraud. Both exhausted all options. Legal challenges and complaints, letters, evidence driven. We have the evidence and we have better media than they did in the past. TV and radio in the 60s versus today is no match. Many of you, again, fear arrest, but arrest will only help us out because MMTLP will conduct a professional, well-planned, and organized constitutional sit-in. It'd be a PR nightmare for them to arrest us with all the evidence we have and the proof of exhausting the system. We have it all. All we need, we have within us now, and that's the truth. The writers, they had to use mail, telegram for coordination. It took months for them to get any kind of impact. MMTLP can mobilize within hours to days. Our media can be mobilized within minutes to hours. Instant. We are instant. Today's proactive media is viral. MMTLP has every major advantage that these winners of the past didn't have. We'll have the public. We'll have retail like AMC, GME, BBBY, HYMC, FNGR, gtii, qntm, GNS, pnpnf, NS, Northwest Bio, and these are only just a few. You forgot the army that GME and AMC had a few years back. They will jump on board. Major MMTLP advantages: the public and the retail community. We have evidence of SEC fraud in black and white. We got evidence on Finra, black and white. We got evidence on Finra members individually in black and white. We've got evidence of broker fraud. We got evidence of Congress and the Senate fraud and blocking and stalling. What else is there? All we need is within us now. We have so much evidence, but the evidence isn't consequences. There's no consequences. I hate to say it. I can't find any consequences. I don't want to do a constitutional right sit-in. It's not that I want to. I have to. There's no other way. How are we getting consequences? We're pumping out fraud after fraud, minute by minute, second by second online, and nothing's been happening for years. How are we bringing consequences? Can you tell me? Where's the consequences? There is no enforcement. How do we get enforcement? They control all the doors and they got them locked. They hold all the keys. They are the gatekeepers. They decide who, what, and when to enforce, not us. Up until you bring a constitution and your feet and bodies to their face. And that's it. The very reason that none of us wants to do this is the very exact reason why we have to do this. And it's a winning tactic. It has shown as win in the past, and it will win again. And we have all we need to do it. If the government refuses to enforce, the only thing left is that we, the people, and that's you. Civil rights sit ins like Greensboro in the 1960s faced significant opposition from everybody, and yet they still won. A 1963 Gallup poll showed 78% of the population was against the changes. Not us. We will definitely have 80% of the population for us. In contrast, Section 504 in 1977 and the Freedom Rides in 1961 accounted resistance, but not as high as 78%. And remember, all of they won. Our advantages over the past is completely outrageous. Our advantages will shine because we got stronger evidence. We've got the public for us. And if the public is for us, who can be against us? Break the cycle. After 3 years of gaslighting, stalling, and ignoring, we can rise up and make them face us and talk to us in person. No more hiding behind closed doors and whispers. No more James Angel bullshit. We've got it. And it's up to us. And again, I don't want to do this. It takes time and money out of my life too. But I have no choice. You have no choice. And the fact that we don't want to do this with every ounce and bone of our body means that's exactly why we should do it. You've got to think and look at all the evidence and what's before us in a sober view. Our evidence is there and it's good enough. There's no magical savior coming for us. Learned helplessness says wait. Reality says act. Constitutional sit-ins empower us. With the 80% success rate historically, we've got everything we need. We are 100% winners in this fight, if you can only see it. We've got stronger evidence. We got FOIA evidence. We need the blue sheets. But our members basically have all the data we need. Historical underdogs have overcome major challenges, and we are no different. Slow 1960s media dragged a lot of these constitutional sit-ins out, and that's why they're days, weeks, and months. Ours could literally be hours if we mobilize AMC and GME's Army instantly, if we mobilize the veteran groups and organizations. You've got to look at the bigger picture. You've got to understand there's absolutely nothing to lose. Even if we fail, however you want to say we fail, we still have all our rights. They're still on the hook and obligated to settling the trades, providing the evidence. They are still on the hook for everything they've done to us for 3 years. Congress and Senate is still on the hook for enforcement. We lose nothing, but possibly some time. But we've already wasted 1,000 days. Would 2 or 3 days really not be worth it? Would you be willing to be arrested for a charge that would be dropped at court for $5 million? Many of you would in a different circumstance. But if you mention MMTLP into it, oh, it's different. But if someone offered you $1 million for a very simple charge that's going to be dropped before you get to court, you would jump at the chance, but not when it comes to your needs and your loss in MMTLP. Hand over the data is doable in hours. Two highly focused, simple demands. Immediate audited share count. Again, it can be done in hours. Immediate T2 settlement. And now the law is T1, and we have the technology to do T0. They've got no way out weaseling it. I've got the verbal skills for us to counter any confusion or obfuscation tactics they're going to try to use against us to get the public to say it's too complicated. We're going to wipe that out. We need our veterans and seniors to lead for sympathy. Share ideas. Join planning calls. No more waiting. From helplessness to victory, the sit-in starts now. All we need is within us now.